It's time to play Lord of the Rings! Today I will introduce the Good Faction Tier 1 commanders who I think are the best. These are the suggestions I have for you. You might find some commanders that are stronger than who I recommend, and in that case you can write down who is your strongest commander. Let's start by comparing the base value of the commanders at the highest level. There may be other bonuses that add to the base value, but that doesn't matter much. Note that this doesn't count as bonus value. S-Eowyn is the only female Tier 1 commander and is also the strongest Tier 1 commander.
Oh my god! Wow!
Her base trait is balance, so you can see that her three main stats, probably influenced by the trait skills, are all fairly even and not affected by her base trait. The Tier 1 commander is the best. She can also use her main skill, Boromir and Duolin, which can greatly increase S-Eowyn's damage, and other two main skills can also be upgraded according to skill points you've got. Defense is also very important. The elves can complete some tasks that others can't, and Haldir is undoubtedly the easiest elf commander to get. His base trait is balance, and all three stats are very even. There are two ways to build this commander. If you are at Respect level 5, you can start with March Warden of Lorien and Cull the Weak to full level in the early game. Elite is also a good skill, but Cull the Weak is aimed at enemies with low defense and can deal a minimum of up to 30% damage. Compared to Elite, the initial value can only increase by 1%. Cull the Weak is worth upgrading to full level. Guide is a weak skill where Armed Escort can also be upgraded depending on demand. The Respect level 3 skills are very good skills, and the Sylvan Elf and Beast training must be filled up in the mid-game, both of which will give Eagle units a very high boost to their defense and poison damage. With Galdarim, you can give 2 skill points to get fortified. The other skills don't really need to be upgraded. Dwalin is also one of the more powerful dwarf commanders in the Tier 1 commander list. His specialties are warrior, so he has an advantage in might. All 4 of his main skills are very useful bonuses.
Nice.
I really want to fill them all up, but unfortunately that's not quite possible. In the early game, I would recommend that experienced warrior must be maxed out. You can upgrade collaboration first in these 2 following skills. Main skill, as a musician, can be upgraded as required, and Respect level 3 main skills, Endurance Blood, is a skill that must be upgraded to the highest level. The 2 skills below it are also very important. Once you've got to unlock these skills, you can then transfer all the skill points spent on Musician and Hunt down to this skill. Every normal attack can deal great damage to the enemy. Level 5 Main Warrior of the Lonely Mountain is a skill that needs attention in the late game. After upgrading these 3 skills of Endurance Blood, you can spend some skill points on this skill. The only way to be invincible is to strengthen your damage and defense together. A-Hirgon is a very good commander with good stats, but unfortunately, he might not develop well with his level increased. Instead, his speed becomes his advantage, which is very advantageous in march speed, but the physical damage is not too high. His second trait is Tip Master, which is kind of a useless trait. You can spend 2 skill points to Herald and Warden to unlock the following 2 skills, which you can upgrade as needed. If you want to build A-Hirgon as a battle commander, Red Arrow and Devotion and the additional skills below them should be upgraded to the full level. But you can also upgrade Herald in the early stages, which will allow A-Hirgon to get more experience. Boromir is the only one whose trait is Leader in Tier 1, which is a 5+ command, which means he leads more units at the same level. So his physical damage can be higher than any other commander at the same level. Boromir's highest stat is Might. At Respect level 0, High Warden of the White Tower and here can be strengthened at the same time, which boosts both damage and defense. It's a very useful trait in early game. These two main skills are very good, so you can spend a lot of the skill points on them. Nobility can be added to full level, giving quite an excellent damage bonus. Spending 2 skill points on Warden unlocks 2 additional skills to get level 1 bonuses. Horn of Gondor. It's an important skill for the late game and should be maxed out along with Air and its following skill, Well Prepared. This can be used with some skill points as well. Only hobbits in the Tier 1 commanders list base stats are not very good and usually are used only for heal. Also have a very special advantage based on their skill, which is using large troops, Ents. Giving War Chant 2 skill points unlocks the 2 skills below it, and giving level 1 bonus to these 2 skills. You that advantage. Let them act as a heal role. Next, you will come to Respect level 3 Hobbit Adventurer. Unlocks the following 2 skills. And some skill points on these ones because it's quite important. 2 skill points to Respect level 5 Palantir Scryer and unlock the following skills. If you want to continue upgrading these 2 skills, you will have to spend more skill points on the Palantir Scryer, which will make Merry&Pippin a battle commander with large units. As you might know, Ents were a great help in the film. Second dwarf commander of the Tier 1 commanders list has some useless skills. This trait has Tipmaster, Clear-Headed, and Inquisitive. Ignore these skills. Skills for Ori I have already talked about before. For Ori, just max out Clerk, Blood, and Warriors of Lonely Mountain. Blood and Warrior of Lonely Mountain in the early game gives you both damage and defense bonuses, which are very beneficial for Ori in battles. Boromir's brother, the Tier 1 commander with the highest focus. If you want to build Faramir, you can give Rangers of Ithilien and Guide full level in the early game. Spend 2 skill points on the last steward to unlock the following 2 skills to get the bonuses. Also spend some skill points in the other skills in the early game. This will also increase damage and level you up quickly. In the late game, upgrade Air and max out Nobility. Air can work well with Rangers of Ithilien and Guide, and Faramir can be a good commander as well. Skill points are limited, so how do you make your commander invincible? It is necessary to spend the skill points in useful skills. For example, the tips related skills are pretty useless, so don't waste any skill points on it. In the next video, we'll have some very cute commanders to introduce, so stay tuned and shiver in fear.